I got to the age 20 and I thought, okay, I'm going to change some things here. And so I started changing my diet, lifestyle, and environment. Now, I didn't realize at the time that the most important things you can change and the most important things you can do to control your entire health, your genetic expression, everything about how long you live and what disease you get is up to you. Number one is diet. It's the biggest single thing. And I'll go over some NCD stats in a minute. I'm a bit of an encyclopedia when it comes to research. I'll go over a couple of bits of that in a minute. The first thing is diet. So what you eat every day, right? It's the biggest thing because that's what your body's made of. Second thing is lifestyle choices. Do I drink? Do I not drink? Do I smoke cigarettes? Do I not smoke? Do I get wound up and stressed? Do I go to bed late? Do I get up in the morning? Do I exercise? Do I do meditation? Do I do yoga? Am I flexible? The kind of behavioural things we do. Number two. Number three is the environment you live in. For example, your environment has an impact on you. And I mean, I've cured my asthma. I cured my asthma. By the time I was 25, I cured everything. I haven't been sick in 27 years. I haven't got a cold, a flu, a bug, a virus, asthma attack, hay fever, nothing. Now, genetically, I am the worst case scenario. I'm supposed to be this sick little kid, sick adult, sick everything, but I haven't been sick in over almost 30 years. Why? Because I changed my diet, my lifestyle, my environment. And here's the thing, true genetic disease is 1 to 3% of your disease risk. 1 to 3% of your disease risk. Now I'm talking bowel cancer, breast cancer, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, all of it. 1 to 3%. So 97% of your health profile, how long you live, how much energy you have, is dictated to by diet, lifestyle, and environment. Now here's the key thing about those three things. They can each cancel each other out. So you can be busy having certified organic smoothies all day, right? But if you live next to a nuclear radiation dump, it's not going to actually outweigh the nuclear radiation. That makes sense? Yeah, it's a really good example because, we do this thing where we go, because the other thing I love talking about is the centenarian cultures. We don't have time tonight, but I've studied the 10 longest lived cultures in the world, and I've written one of my books about it. It's very fascinating when you look at how they behave, and it's not their genetics and how long they live. They generally get 30 to 40 years longer than we do, and they're in better health at 100 than we are at 60, and it's nothing to do with their genetics. So it's quite interesting. But anyway, you have your genetics. You have all your genetics, right? You're sitting there with a mixture of genetics, and you've all got your own genetics from your family history, and you look like your mum and dad and all that, right? But how your genetics express is up to you. And that's the beautiful dance that you have. Look back at me in 1967. Little Jason Shon Bennett born, 2 pounds 9, 23,688 genes, all expressing in a certain way. Now, I fed them a certain way. I gave them drugs a certain way. Got to the age of 20, been sick every day my whole life. Now, age 20, I decided to give away the meat, the alcohol, all the crap, start fasting regularly, doing yoga, going to bed early, looking after myself, eating less, eating better. By the time I'm 25, I'd cured everything. Now, had I changed my genes? Was I still the same Jason Shon Bennett? Yes. And then at 30, and then at 40, and then at 50? Yes. I'm still the same Jason Shon Bennett in my 50s as I was at birth, but I've changed how my genes express themselves. Where do your genes express themselves? In your microbiome. What is the number one influence on your microbiome? Your diet. Exactly. Number one influence you have on your microbiome, which runs your immune system, which runs your respiratory system, which runs your liver health, which runs how long you live, whether you die of heart disease, whether you get cancer, whether the cancer is filtered from the body or it grows and proliferates. All done by your microbiome. All done through diet. Now, is diet everything? No. It's like I said, it's part of the fall. But genetics are a really interesting thing. There's two quick pieces of research I want to share with you that just kind of clarify how we get genetics wrong. One of them is African Americans. And there's Dr. Dennis Burkhead, is a bowel surgeon from the UK. He spent 20 years in rural Africa, with rural Africans, trying to find anyone with IBS or irritable bowel or bowel cancer or any kind of bowel problems. Right? They're all eating a plant-based whole food diet and moving most of the time, going to bed early. Right? So, all the things mum told you to do, all the boring stuff. Now, he couldn't find a single case in 20 years of working with these people, not a single case. He went back to the UK and wrote a book on it. Really interesting. Now, every year, the statistics come out in America for bowel cancer rates, every single year. And I'm a freak for research, so I get the research every single year. I read it, I have a look at it. Does anyone want to have a guess, out of all the different races in America, all the different races, what is the number one highest intake rate of bowel cancer in America? Do anyone want to have a guess at which race it is? African Americans, yes. In their home country, no bowel cancer. on a plane, land in America, live there for 10 to 15 years, #1 rates of any ethnicity in America. Now, did their genes magically change on the plane? No. But their genetic expression changes because their microbiome changes, because their diet and lifestyle changes when they get to America. The worst diet in the world is America. Second worst diet on the planet, New Zealand. Seriously, we've got the worst, most constipating, bowel-blocking, awful, low-fibre, unliving, awful diet on planet Earth. It's just phenomenal. It's why bowel cancer is so rife in New Zealand. What do we eat? Lots and lots of meat, no plants, no fibre. What runs your bowel health? Fibre. Where do you get fibre from? There's only 6 food groups you can get fibre from on the planet. One of them's right here. I'll tell you about it in just a minute. So I think I've touched on genetics. Oh, the other one with genetics is Japanese Hawaiians. After the Second World War, a whole lot of Japanese moved to Hawaii. They were all studied. They noticed within 15 years they were dying of American diseases, or what they called modern lifestyle diseases, NCDs. So non-communicable diseases. And yet their siblings back in Japan weren't. So really interesting.